Hello and welcome to Eat the Frog Productivity. This is being brought to you by Nine Thorn, presented by Leslie Ann Anderson. Hello, my name is Leslie Ann Anderson. I am a Texas-based HR professional with nearly 30 years of experience. I am the owner and founder of Nine Thorn, a corporate advisory firm. We specialize in HR consulting, career coaching, and talent acquisition solutions. We help leaders build accountable, high trust workplaces grounded in clarity and execution. So, what is Eat the Frog? So, Eat the Frog is a productivity method that a lot of people have found great success in when it comes to planning out their workday, getting the most out of their day. And what it really has been known to do is help individuals transform their productivity by conquering the most challenging task first thing each morning. This is a powerful time management strategy that helps you to overcome procrastination and build an unstoppable momentum. When you think about Eat the Frog, it's been around for a while, I must say. You may have heard of a book called Eat That Frog, which is written by Brian Tracy. And then, of course, Mark Twain said something years ago during an interview, which has been quoted throughout time. And what he said was, if your job is to eat a frog, the best it's best to eat the frog first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat two frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. So that's kind of where the origin of Eat the Frog comes from. It's from these two. So Mark Twain said it first, and then Brian Tracy expanded upon this quote and wrote the book, Eat That Frog. Okay, so why does Eat the Frog work? Okay, so first of all, the concept is if you're going to do just that, eat the frog or take care of your biggest task, you want to do it first thing in the morning. You want to do it while your brain is at its peak level, is well rested, there's no mental lag, there's no mental fog. You are at your peak, right? When it comes to your clarity and mental focus. All right. So it has been said that your peak of your mental focus comes usually about 2 hours after you wake up. And so the goal is if you tackle your hardest task during your peak time, it's going to keep you from having like decision fatigue. You'll be less likely to allow yourself to be distracted by other things throughout the day. Um, there won't be a whole lot coming at you first thing in the morning, so you'll really be able to dedicate majority of your time, your energy, and your focus to that big task that you're working on. And then once you complete the task, you'll have this sense of accomplishment. It'll give you a dopamine release. Making you be motivated to tackle other things throughout the day. So the core principle behind Eat the Frog is, first of all, you want to identify your your frog. What is your big task? What is your big goal? You want to identify that first. And that you want to make sure that you're choosing an item that is going to move the needle of your day or of your quarter or of your goal. You know, you want to make sure you take care of that big item that's going to have the biggest impact, right? And then next, you want to make sure that you are going to dedicate your morning to doing that task. So you want to make sure that you block off time in the morning. You want to guard that time. You want to make sure that nothing interferes with the time. So that means no emails, no phone calls, no meetings. Don't get distracted or anything like that. You just want to stay focused on your your goal, you know. And then once you've completed that goal, you'll be able to spend the rest of your day um, taking care of other tasks and job duties and responsibilities. Now, the most practical way for you to be successful with this productivity method is to plan for it the night before. Go ahead, take about 30 minutes at the end of the day and plan your day for the next business day. Plan your day out. So already identify what your big goal is or what the frog is, and go ahead and write it down. Schedule time on your calendar. Make sure that you mark that you're busy. Go on do not disturb. Already have a game plan in place to be successful. All right. Now, depending on what your frog is, your goal, um, it may be a big task. So what you may find that you'll need to do is you may need to break it down into more manageable um, portions in order for you to be able to focus on it and do just a little bit each day. But the thing is that you'll be the one to identify that, and you'll need to be realistic with how much time you're going to need in order for you to complete that task. All right. One thing that you will find to be successful while using this particular um, method is time blocking. You want to block off, 2, 3 hours and dedicate it to your frog, you know. Now, it is also a good idea if you need to, if you're one of those where you cannot sit for 2, 3 hours or just focus on something. What you could do is give yourself, 20, 25-minute breaks in between for you to be able to kind of get some more mental clarity and stamina to help you be able to push through. But don't take longer than 5-minute breaks. It should be only 5 minutes, nothing longer. All right? And also just remember that while you're working on the frog, while you're eating the frog, you do not multitask. You are dedicated to the frog only, and everything else needs to um, um, go on hold during that time. Now, with that being said, there are a couple of things that you want to kind of Also take into consideration when you are looking at doing this method, because you're in the workplace, and although sitting there and being dedicated to a task for 2 to 3 hours sounds really nice, however, we have to be realistic. There may be something that pops up that needs your attention right then. All right. Now we're going to try to plan to be successful with our task and have that dedicated time. However, you know, there may be something that pop up that you need to take care of. So therefore, you want to be flexible as well. You know, um, make sure you assess your day and what's going on with your day, because if something truly urgent comes up and it needs your attention, you need to be flexible enough to be able to handle that. All right. All right. So let's go over some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. One of them: don't be so rigid that you let everything else fall by the wayside and you neglect your priorities and responsibilities. If something urgent comes up, you need to go ahead and take care of that. Secondly, in the event that you have a really big task or a really big frog, make sure that you break that down into manageable size pieces. That way that you are truly able to give good quality work and maintain focus and not become overwhelmed. You want to make sure that you are honest with yourself when you are looking at your goals, right? Also, something else you can um, also look at doing. Um, if you have a frog, let's say you have two frogs per se, or two big goals, something that you want to also make sure that you don't necessarily do is put them back to back. So you want to take care of one frog, do a couple of other items, and then go back in and do and work on your next frog. You kind of want to reward yourself so that you'll feel like you've gotten something accomplished. If you have two large goals back to back, you'll feel overwhelmed, and not only that, you'll feel like you're not being successful because you'll feel like you haven't completed a task, or um, you'll feel like you're not getting a break, like you're just sitting at your desk and not really um, having that opportunity to take care of other things. So if you take care of the frog, take care of some other things. That way it'll continue to build momentum. All right. So you have learned what Eat the Frog is. You understand the concept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to plan for tomorrow to start the Eat the Frog challenge. And what you will then do is you will plan out your day, or you'll plan for your day tomorrow. So you'll take time this afternoon or later today or even tonight, depending on how you schedule. But what you will do is you will pick out your biggest task, what is most important, and you're going to go ahead and plan to take care of that first thing in the morning. So I already come up with the game plan. All right. So then when you get into work tomorrow, you'll be able to go ahead and start working on that big task and make sure that that is taken care of. And that way you can focus on that task at hand. So you don't want to go in and, like, of course, depending on what your job duties are, if you go in and check your emails or things like that, set a timer for that. 10 minutes only. I'm going to go in, check the emails, and respond to anything urgent, and then get right into um, eating the frog. All right. Now, I'm going to say that you probably need to commit to this for 30 days. You know, see if this works for you. Play around with it. Maybe your peak hours are not in the morning, maybe they're in the afternoon. Figure out what works best for you, tweak if you need to, and then you may find that this is not necessarily a productivity method for you. There are lots out there. So you may need to play around with a couple before you figure out exactly what works best for you. But I will tell you that there is something out there for you. All right. So my name is Leslie Anderson. I am with Nine Thorn. If you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is on the screen. Please allow 24 business hours for a response. In the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next training.